الناس اللي ما حضرتش.
ايوه تمام.
تمام كده سجل.
تمام تمام.
اوكي. طيب let's move now to important concept in probabilities called contingency table. In contingency table, we have what is called the cross tabulation of frequency. These are inserted inside rows and columns. The intersection of each row and column is called a cell, of course, and this cell would show some frequency. Okay. Of course, we'll take now examples and you would understand this very clearly. Okay. So it's like a contingency table is like a frequency distribution for a single variable, except it has two variables. We have variable here, okay, that could be described in the columns, and another variable to be described in the rows, okay? And we call it R times C. The R refers to the number of the rows and C for the number of the columns table, okay? So this is an example of the contingency table where, as we have said, we have here some numbers. This table contains the number of observations, the number of cases collected to collect this data, or the sample size was 67, okay? This table was collected in order to study the relationship or to study what is the effect of the tuition fees of the MBA program, and what would be the gain in salary later. So for example, if the tuition fee is for example low, because the university provided this program is not validated. So having a certificate from such a university, what is the increasement or how your salary increasement later would be included in which class? Is your salary, the increase in your salary is included in small salary gain or medium or large? If there is some accreditation to the program, but it's still not validated by international partner or something like this, so the tuition fee is between 40 and 50, and what would be the effect of their salaries and so on, okay? So this is the main purpose of the table. You have to understand the table before we start to solve anything. The main purpose is that 67 students or employees or whatever are collected in order to see what was the effect of the tuition of their MBA program on the salary gain in the future, okay? And of course, the intersection between each column and row, as we've said, is called the cell. This cell would contain some frequency. So if the employee have studied at low tuition college, which is classified as under 40K, here refers for 1,000. If this program was provided with under 40,000, in this case, we find that only 5 cases got the small salary gain, and 10 cases was more lucky and they got the medium salary gain, and only one of the 16, this is the total of the row, of the all individuals included within the low tuition fees. Okay, so one of these 16 was getting the large salary gain. Okay, so these are called these are the intersections. Don't miss them with the intersection of the probability. Here we mean by intersection is that where the point of the column is intersecting with the point at the row. Okay, and these totals are called the marginal totals. Okay, these are showing the total of the rows, and here also it's called the marginal totals as it shows the total of the column. Okay, and this number is called grand total. Okay, as it shows us the total number of the observations collected for the purpose of this study. Okay, so if we want to calculate gains more likely to occur, okay, if we want to consider some of these probabilities, and as I've told you, the marginal probability are the ones that is at the end of the columns and the rows. Okay, so here if we want to calculate what is the probability of paying low tuition, would be what?
5 by 67.
No. What is the probability of attending an MBA program with low tuition? Here I'm looking for the
16 by 67.
by
يعني divide. Sorry.
Divide. Okay.
Divide.
So we have at the denominator the grand total of all the cases. So of all the cases, we have only 16, okay, who have attended the low T1. Okay. Okay. If I want to know what is the probability of having large salary,
$17
divided by
67.
Okay, so we have 16 divided by
no 16.
17. 17, yes, 17. Okay, it's 17 divided by 67. Okay, so if we are going to calculate the probabilities for the total or the marginal totals like this, okay, we call these probabilities as marginal probabilities. Okay, as it shows us the probability of having the.
يا دكتور ممكن الصوت
ممكن اعمل ايه؟
الصوت كان بيقطع.
Now can you hear?
تمام.
Okay. Okay, so all these probabilities at the end of or the totals of the columns and the rows are called marginal probabilities. Okay. Okay. So here to find again the median salary, we have already calculated the marginal probability of the all of them. So here again to interpret the results, that we would say that there are 49% chance that top tier schools MBA student will experience a medium salary gain. Okay, here if we are talking about the medium salary, okay, so there is the 0.49 or 49% that of all the ones who attend the MBA will get the medium salary gain. Okay, the joint probabilities now, okay, represents the intersection of two events in a cross population. Okay, so consider the joint event that the school has low tuition and large salary gain, denoted as the probability that it's T1 given S3. So what is the probability of T1, okay, given it's S3? So here it's 1. Okay, we have here 1 divided by 67. Okay, so 1 divided by 67. The probability that there is an intersection, it's a low tuition fee and he's got a large salary. In this case, I will divide, or you will divide the number of the joint probability divided by the total or the grand total of the population. Okay, again to interpret the
دكتور
result.
الصوت وحش قوي يا دكتور
All
والله
of you
أنا بحاول
all of you don't
صعب.
hear.
يا دكتور فعلا الصوت
We
بيقطع.
can hear بس الصوت بيقطع جدا.
ما I don't know what to do. I
هو
don't
كده
know if
مظبوط
the
تقريبا حضرتك بتبقى
recording
في المايك ساعات يعني هو كده مظبوط
هو كده مظبوط. Okay. طيب.
اه
So for the interpretation, we have here there is less than a 2% chance that a top tier school has both low tuition and large salary gains. Okay. For the conditional probability, find the probability that salary gain are small. Okay, they are S1 given that the MBA tuition is large, so it's the required one is it's supposed to be S1 given T3. So here if we are looking for S1 given the T3, in this case it's 5. Okay, so we have here 5
الصوت
cases.
بيقطع قوي.
لا يبقى في مشكلة بقى في الكونكشن. I don't know, maybe the recording video will contain my sound in the mic, not the connection. Maybe I hope يعني معلش stay with me, and if you missed some of the sound you can go back and revise using the recorded lecture. Okay. So if we are looking for the if we are looking about for the intersection, if we are looking for the intersection probability of S3, for example, intersecting T1, we are going to divide the 1 by the grand total. Okay. If we are looking for S3 given T1, okay, which is here T3 S3 given T1, in this case we will divide by here okay. And again, if we are looking or we want to check between the conditional and the marginal condition, okay, we have to compare between if the probability of some event given another event would equal to the probability of this event alone. As we can see here, there is a difference between the two numbers. So we say that they are dependent since the two probabilities are not the same. So having one of the events given the other would not would affect this. They are dependent. Okay. You hear me? Okay. To calculate the relative frequency inside table, okay, we divide.
انا مش سامعه حاجه، هو الصوت بيروح ويرجع بسرعه وبعدين بيروح.
Okay, so please check the recorded video after the lecture. I hope my sound would be
هيبقى
better
ريكوردد
than
بالطريقه
this.
دي، طالما كلنا سامعين نفس الحاجه يبقى هيبقى ريكوردد كده.
طيب, if you have any question right now, you can ask me. Okay.
اوكي تمام.
Okay. So to calculate the relative frequencies, we just which is this intersection are the first event and the second event. We would divide all these values by the grand total of the table, which is in this case 67. Okay. And of course, also to find the marginal probabilities, we divide also the totals by the grand total. Okay. By this, I finish what is supposed to be explained for this lecture. Okay. And you have to solve so many questions about the probability. So for chapter 5, do you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
دكتور، انا اظن ان احنا محتاجين في الليكتشرز اللي جايه ان احنا نبدا مره ثانيه بالكونتنجنسي تيبل مره ثانيه.
With the contingency table the next time. بص I can't promise you قوي لان التوبيك اللي جاي هيبقى بعيد شويه عن البروبابيلتي. What you have or what you should to do في ال contingency table, you just زي ما قلت لك, you just for finding the relative frequency you have to divide all these numbers by the grand total. Okay, this is the relative frequency, so this is the intersection. This gives you the value of T1 and S1. This is the intersection. Okay. And to get it, you just divide by the grand total of the table. Okay, this is for the relative frequency. For the marginal frequency, you only have to, as you are seeing, also for the intersection, you divide by the grand total. For the marginal, you also divide by the grand total. Okay. The only difference if you are seeking to find the conditional or the given probability. Okay, in this case you don't divide by the grand total, you divide by the total. For example, here the probability of T3 given S1, in this case you would divide by the the total of this S1. Okay, so here you will find that the probability you will divide here, you will divide by the total of the rows or the columns according to the conditional probability and its requirements. Okay, so for chapter 5, can you hear me? You can unlock the mute. Okay, I have already finished. So please, I need to know if you are following or not.